Welcome back to EngineCraft Garage. Today we have a Grizzly 660, and the only thing that I've been told about this is it won't run and it's dumping fuel everywhere. Today we're gonna dig into this, find out why it's dumping fuel, and then see if we can get it running again. So overall, this unit is in pretty good condition. Doesn't look too bad. We got some bags on here with the extra seat. There's a little bit of rust on it. I think this is a 2008 Ultramatic. We got some rust in here on the shocks and whatnot, but not a big deal. In order to find out where this is leaking from, I have to take the seat off. Just a little latch right there. Pull up on that, get the seat off, and then we should be able to dig into. Everything in here looks pretty decent. Here is where you check the oil. Pop that cover off. Dig in here and check this out. Just got oil. It's fairly clean. Smells like oil. Fuel currently is off. I don't know if there's anything in the tank. Oh, there is some fuel in there. Let's turn this to on. All right, on the dash we got 1,683 miles, 423 hours, so I'm assuming a lot of this is idle hours. But from what I've been told, that the guy that had this just used it for ice fishing, so probably not a whole lot of hard use on it. I turned the fuel on, so now we gotta take some of these covers off so we can try to figure out. There we go. Man, that oil filter is just wedged in there. We'll grab a light. Maybe we can figure out where we're dumping fuel from. So, I don't know if you guys can see it in there. Try to zoom in a little bit. There's fuel on the overflow. So that means that we probably have a float that isn't functioning properly, possibly, or that screw just needs to be turned in. If that's it, that's ridiculous, but no, I can see, you can see wetness all around the gasket in there. So we're definitely gonna have to take this carb out. Yep, it's already starting to drip. There it goes there. Yeah. You can grab a screwdriver and see if I can tighten that overflow and see if that that shuts that down. Stop it? No. We're going to have to remove this whole top cowl, take out the air box, and I think that's it. Once we get all this stuff off, because we're going to have to remove this gas tank and the air box in order to get to the carburetor there. So in order to drain the tank, well, we have to drain the tank in order to get to the carburetor. There's a bunch of fuel in here, and I'm not trying to lift this up with all this fuel in here. So we got to disconnect the fuel line. Hopefully we can get, there's a screw inside this fuel shutoff, and we should be able to pull off this plastic bit here. If not, we're going to have to wedge it out of the way somehow. But what I'm using to get the gas out is one of these siphons. It's got a check ball in here, and basically you just jiggle the hell out of it until it starts flowing fuel. And these actually flow fuel really fast. So hopefully these two gallon tanks I have is enough to hold all this fuel. So let me show you how this works here. Just do a little bit of jiggling. How it starts flowing. Ideally, you want this a lot lower. Like down here, and it should start pulling fuel. There we go. Well, all the fuel's drained out, and for saying this was kind of low on fuel, 4 gallons seems like quite a bit. We're gonna stick a screwdriver in here, see if we can unscrew this screw in here, which I can't feel nothing. All right, got a light here, put it in lightsaber mode. Where is it? There it is. All right, there is a screw in there, but it looks like it's been stripped. So that's wonderful. Let's get the fuel line off of the carburetor. This should be fun. All right, after just absolutely struggling with that, the fuel line is off. So now that the tank is empty and I can't get this off, the fuel line is off and we should be able to wrestle this out. I'll have you guys watch me struggle from over there. Well, how are you supposed to come out then? Oh, that fuel line just absolutely just broke. So that's fun. Well, there we go. Did that screw come out of there, or did it break? I think that screw actually fell out. No way. Now where's the screw? Oh, I found it. By the way, there's that screw. It looks really good, right? And then this fuel line is broke. Doesn't look that great either. Definitely gonna have to replace that. All right, the tank is off. The next bit we have to remove is this plastic cover housing. I think there is just some hoses and connectors it's connected to on the bottom. I think it's pretty free over here. Yep. Flip it out of the way. There we go. Now we have access to the carburetor. Whew. So on here, there's going to be just a few screws that we have to get off. We have to get off the screw for the intake, the screw that goes into the engine, the strap, and then we got to take off the throttle cable and this choke. So let me get after that and bring you guys back in. These bolts are super rusty, so this is going to be interesting. we got the carb off. Time to start breaking into it. All right, let's take the bowl off first. See what we got going on here. This is where we're leaking from, so I assume that we're gonna have to put a little bit of sealant on here. Let's get this off and at least try to get all the jets out. Looks pretty clean, honestly. I don't see anything wrong with that except for a little bit of crud down there at the bottom. And then float looks good. Screw that here. The needle looks fine. Seat looks okay. There's going to be a little diaphragm over on this side. This is an actual Mikuni, which I assumed it was. I don't know why you would change it, but sometimes people put Amazon carbs on these if they're not running right. Get out of there. Really don't want to damage the seal. It's really stuck on there. There we go. There's our diaphragm. Really don't want to rip this. There we go. Still feels decently pliable. All right, let's start taking all these jets out. All right, one at a time. I can't see through that, so that's probably clogged. I feel like somebody's been in here before, but the person I got it from said that they've only taken this to a service place to get serviced. All this is just super loose. This out of here. This one has a little O-ring on it. All right, now to take off the diaphragm, which always makes me nervous because if you tear it, you're not in for a good time. Yeah, you can see somebody was in here. Look at that screw. Somebody had vice grips on this. Diaphragm is very pliable. It doesn't look like there's any pinholes or anything like that, so that's good. Other than that, it's all pretty much taken apart. That's a pretty large throat for a carburetor. So we're going to get this in the ultrasonic. I do want to get the bowl in the ultrasonic. I want to take out this screw here. This is the overflow screw or drain, and this thing is crusty. And it was leaking. Well, this wasn't leaking, but it was leaking out of this port right here. We're going to pull that out. Let's get this gasket off so I don't ruin it. There we go. All right, into the ultrasonic we go. I have to put this one in like... I don't have enough fluid in there to actually cover the whole thing. So I'm just going to have to try my best. Like that. And... all right, I got the carburetor out of the ultrasonic. It cleaned up extremely well. Looks basically brand new. Got all the jets out. I'm going to blow through these. I'm going to get this reassembled and back on the machine, and then I'm going to bring you guys in. You guys saw me take it apart. Obviously, it's just going to be the reverse of that. So I got the carburetor back in. I got everything hooked back up. I just have a temporary fuel line in here right now. We're gonna fill the bowl. Keep draining. Just filling the bowl up. On a positive note, I don't think there is any leaks, which is just beautiful. Oh, did it finally stop filling the bowl? Let's see. Yep. So that means our float's working great. We got nothing coming out of the overflow, which is perfect. And I don't see any wetness on or around the carb. So we're gonna turn this on. Full choke, run. Come on. Turn choke off. Not so bad. Let's let it idle for a second. Throttle. Okay. It dies there. Not sure what the issue is there. We'll start back up. Yeah. Does not like throttle. All right, so we're gonna have to figure out why that's doing what it's doing. So I think I figured it out. And you watching might have already figured it out. But it was having a popping when I went to go rev it, which usually indicates it's either lean or too rich. With the air filter off, I think it was running too lean and not allowing it to rev out. So now if we start this... Now it revs out. So now I got to put this all back together and hopefully take it for a test drive. Well, we're all back together as soon as I get, all of my tools off of here. Take this outside. Go for a little rip. Thanks for watching EngineCraft Garage. Today we got this Yamaha Grizzly 660 running and riding again, which was a lot of fun. If you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe, please do. And I'll see you in the next one.
That's really fast.